Now,
why are you supporting this campaign to save Geronimo?
I tell you what, I'm supporting this campaign because I cannot believe it is right to do what is proposed. You mentioned that there's evidence this alpaca was positive. Well, what I can say is that evidence was a long time ago. It's more than 4 years ago, more like 5, I should think. Now, the point is, when it came from New Zealand, it came to in a group of 29 alpacas. 2 of them came to Helen McDonald's farm. And all those animals, before they left New Zealand, had a clean bill of health. But Helen, when the 2 of them came to her farm, said, let's do one extra test. Let's do something called an infrared test. And she did it, and they looked as though one was clear, which would be the female intrigue, and there was some doubt about Geronimo. And from then on, that animal has been under threat, of execution. And my point is really this: this is an animal which 4 years on is still healthy, still surviving. You saw pictures of it. It cannot be right not to do one more test. And Helen, when I talked to her on Saturday, was perfectly clear. There are tests. There is a test available. It's called actiphage, which measures not the size of the lung when you inject it, which is what you do on my did when I was growing up. It measures the blood, the things in the blood. I think it's called M. bovis in the blood. And my point is this: instead of executing this animal in a kind of judicial way, because a line has to be followed through, for heaven's sake, give it another chance. Look, there it is, healthy as all get out. It hasn't infected any of the other animals. Come on, give it another chance. Isn't that the right thing to do?
There have been plenty of farmers. We talked about this last week. And there are plenty of farmers who said you've got no idea what it's like having a herd of cattle when you've got to put down your own livestock, and this is needed to protect herds of cattle. But I mean, is Geronimo a pet? Is he a farm animal? How do you qualify that? I remember covering a story back in Wales with Shambo the bull at a Hindu ashram. And poor old Shambo only got a last-minute stay of execution because the human rights of the monks who were in the ashram came out on top. But where are the rights of Geronimo? How legally can Geronimo be protected?
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, before you execute this animal, you ought to show A, that he's got TB, and B, this is a real danger to anybody else. And I don't think they can stand up on either count. By the way, on the substance, I completely agree with you. Foot and mouth, bovine tuberculosis, all that kind of thing. These are very, very worrying things for farmers. And I grew up on a farm. I see all that. You've got to remember also that farming systems themselves, I happened also to be an ambassador for an organization called Compassion in World Farming, which is trying to draw people's attention to the dangers of intensive farming. There's a case, for example, you might have lowered the immunity of farm animals by this constant intensification of agriculture, and also by, of course, the animal movements. That's certainly one of the lines CIWF would take. So I say, come on, Mr. Eustace is a good man. He's a compassionate man, and he cannot allow some legal procedure, which is what's happening now, simply to drive him and this animal, to the execution spot.
Yeah, I mean, his owner has even said, "Look, I'd take the bullet." She really cares about this alpaca, doesn't she?
Well, why shouldn't she? Why shouldn't she care? Here we are. Debating in Parliament today and over the next few weeks the question of animals as sentient beings. Look at that. I'm seeing the picture in front of me. Don't think that is not a sentient being. Isn't it worth one extra test? And what I think I object to is the way letters were written to this young lady who said, and they said, look, actually, you'll go to prison if you do a test. Do a test on your initiative, you may have to go to prison. That cannot be right. The test is there. Let it be used.